English postgraduates, striving PGTOB English examination competitors, greetings to all of you. Welcome to the platform of Fluency School of English to get ready for the race of PGTOB English examination. Fluency School of English is a wonderful diving platform for you to swim across the race, the PGTOB English examination. In this video, the gist of the Fairy Queen has been presented. Virtue is the theme that runs through the Fairy Queen. The 6 virtues are holiness, temperance, chastity, friendship, justice, and courtesy. King Arthur represents the virtue of magnificence, which is the perfection of all rest, and contains in it them all. The 7 deadly sins are the opposite of the virtual ideal. These 7 deadly sins are idleness, gluttony, luxury, avarice, envy, and wrath. Their appearance appropriate to the names. The Fairy Queen Book 3 deals with the virtue of chastity, and the Lady Knight Britomart is the heroine of this book. In Book 3, 4 women fight to preserve the chastity: Britomart, Florimel, Belphebe, and Amoret. The Book 3 is longer, and so it has been divided into 3 parts. And this one being part 3, it contains cantos 10, 11, and 12. Almost all the essential events have been presented here. Hope you will enjoy the travel with me finding this video that fulfills all your demands to crack the contest. Be with me until the last. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel. And also don't fail to send your feedback. Part 3, Book 3, Part 3. This area focuses primarily on Florimel. Florimel represents beauty. She is always fleeing from the lusty hunters to preserve her chastity. Florimel was only marginal. Ironically, the only knight in the entire Fairy Queen who doesn't return her affection, because he has vowed to love no woman ever. Florimel was continued in Canto 8, which is almost entirely concerned with men who lust after her and abuse her or her false counterpart, the creation of the old hag. The real Florimel is in misery, as men continue trying to violate her. The fisherman with force, and Proteus with persuasion, who turns violent when she refuses. The bee is tied up by Saturn with Florimel's girdle, frees itself and returns to its owner, the old witch, in the Book 3, Cantos 8 and 9. Saturn's meaning is half night, half satire. Saturn lives halfway between the wildness of nature and the civilizing influence of knighthood. He falls even deeper into despair. The witch now creates a false Florimel from a spirit of her own son. The false Florimel, crafted by the evil witch in Book 3, ends up being the main star of the huge tournament in Book 4. The creation of false Florimel finally satisfies her son. That means the sun consumes her. He is walking in the woods with the fake Florimel. A boasting knight, Braggadocio, sees them. Braggadocio is only long on words but short on actions. Braggadocio is jealous and with brandished spear takes the false Florimel for his own. Another knight comes by and challenges him for the maid Florimel. Braggadocio flees. In the morning, at Malpica's castle, Britomart and Saturn and prepare to leave. Paridel claims that he must rest there longer to recover from his wounds. The two knights leave. Paridel works out the real reason he stayed behind. Helenor welcomes his secret lover and devises a plan to get rid of her husband by fooling him. Elinor sneaks into her husband's store of money and sets on fire and then goes to Paridel's arms right in front of her husband. Malpico is caught between his money and his wife. At first, he chooses to go put out the fire. Taking this as an advantage, the two lovers get out. Miserable Malpico goes off in search of his wandering wife. On the way, Malpico meets Braggadocio and Tompart and offers them money to help him. They refuse to accept it but advise him to bury his treasure nearby to keep it safe. The three search through the woods. They meet Paridel, who had eloped with Helenor. Now he has abandoned her. They continue to search the lady. They find her living with a peak of wild satyrs, a woodland deity in Greek mythology, having certain characteristics of horse or goat and fond of Dionysian revelry. One of a class of lustful drunken woodland gods. அதாவது தமிழில் சொல்லப்போனால் இவங்க ஒரு காட்டில் வசிக்கக்கூடிய மனித இனத்திலையும் மிருக இனத்திலையும் சேராத ஒரு வித பிறப்பு. பட் இவங்க எப்போதும் ரொம்ப காமேச்சு அதிகமாகவும் குடிக்கிறவர்களாகவும் இருந்து பெண்ணுன்னா துரத்திக்கிட்டு ஓடுறவங்களாகவும் இருப்பாங்க. அவங்க தான் சாட்டைர்ஸ். Malpico tries to convince his wife to come back with him, but Helenor refuses. Malpico is violently chased off by the satyrs. Outside the woods, he discovers that the two braggarts, Braggadocio and Tompart, dug up his money and took off. Miserable, jealous and grieving, Malpico continues fleeing until he comes to the sea. There he lives the rest of his days consumed by jealous thoughts. Britomart and Saturn continue the search. A young man is fleeing a great giant named Oliphant. Oliphant also is perverse as his brother Agantor. The two knights, Britomart and Saturn, chase the giant into a forest. The two knights, Britomart and Saturn, chase the giant into a forest. They get split up. Britomart is surprised to see a man sprawling out on the ground, weeping and wailing. explains that he is Scudamore. Scudamore says his lady Amoret is held captive by an evil sorcerer, Bizran. Vitomart vows to save her. Scudamore leads her to the Bizran's castle. The castle is surrounded and protected by a wall of flame. Surrounds it a moat, and nothing can quench the fire. Fearless Vitomart puts her shield before her and walks into the flame. It splits in and makes her way to pass through. When Scudamore tries to do the same, he is burned and must wait outside while Vitomart enters the castle alone. Vitomart enters the castle alone. Inside the castle, the warrior Vitomart enters a beautiful room. The walls are covered by tapestries. Tapestries mean திரைச்சீலைகள் of great color and value. They display the love of gods. For instance, many shapes that Joe took on her in order to live with a mortal woman, and many other examples. At the front of the room there is a golden idol on the altar. The golden idol looks like Cupid, the god of love. In the next room, Vitomart sees depictions of war and conquest and the violence that has accompanied love. She still sees no persons in the castle. Night falls. She is troubled but stays alerted. A trumpet sounds. A storm rages through the castle. Winds open the door. Vitomart watches a long mask or procession comes out of it. The figures in the mask are the servants of Cupid. There are desire, doubt, fear, hope, suspicion, pleasure, and others, and they all wear an outfit appropriate to the nature. There follows an horrible sight. A young woman with a bleeding wound in her chest is led out by despite and cruelty. Here you see the characters of human mind are personified here. Desire, doubt, fear, hope, suspicion, pleasure, despite, cruelty, all the inner thoughts of the human mind. Now here they are personified to continue the story. Despite and cruelty have removed her heart and put it in a silver basin. Cupid riding on a lion comes out to witness this. Then the whole procession goes back through the door. Vitomart tries to open the door but cannot. She waits until the next night for the procession to begin again. The door swings open again. But she sees none of the figures from the mask. Instead, Amoret is there, tied to a pillar, while the enchanter Bizran cruelly tortures her. Vitomart flies upon him and strikes him down, but she cannot kill him. Amoret is held on the pillar through the Bizran's magic. With a sword, Vitomart forces him to remove the spell, freeing the maiden. Vitomart leads both of them out of the castle victoriously. Now the scenes depicted on the walls are gone. Besides, the magic is dispersed. Outside the castle, Amoret and Scudamore are reunited. The female characters in the poem embodies chastity, but unlike Vitomart or Belphege or Floribel, manifest their chastity less by fighting fighting them by running. Florimel relies on her ability to remove herself from compromising situations as a way to prove that she is a child. But Florimel's misery still continues even in the book 4, and she is always fleeing. That's all, dears. Thank you. Best wishes.